The conference room at my dad's office seemed to shrink around the table. Sloan claimed the head seat, nails ticking the walnut. Mom kept that careful, disappointed smile. Dad watched the skyline with folded arms, and me, Lila Park, apparently the family problem. "Let's be efficient," Sloan said, sliding a packet toward me. "Lila, we know how this ends. Aegis Flow Systems has bled for 3 years. Time to be practical." "Bled is dramatic," Mom murmured while agreeing anyway. "Sweetheart, it's too complicated, it always was." I'd launched Aegis Flow in a closet-sized sublet. While my family raised malls and towers, I studied the hidden plumbing of money. Movement, disguise, defense. They called it a phase, said I was wasting my degree on code instead of leases. "The math is simple," Dad said. "You barely cover overhead. No major clients in 18 months. Your big account is dry cleaners?" "3 chains," I said, "plus car washes and small clinics." Sloan laughed. 3 whole chains? Meanwhile, I opened 5 new markets. I set down my cup. Her folder stayed shut. I already knew the shape. A polite burial with a ribbon. "This is generous," Dad said. 200,000 for full transfer. My security budget alone dwarfed it. 5-year non-compete, Sloan added. "We'll fold Aegis Flow into Park Holdings. Maybe a consulting slot at 40. "Let me read it," I said. I opened the packet. Asset transfer, non-compete. A consulting clause written like a leash. I turned pages. Contracts priced like pocket change. IP marked minimal. 60 days to hand off. I closed the folder and looked up, voice steady. "Before we talk numbers, I need you to understand what exactly you're asking me to give away." The door cracked before I could continue. Dad's assistant began to apologize, but 3 people in dark suits slipped past her, credentials out. "Lila Park?" the lead asked. I nodded. "Treasury, Financial Crimes Enforcement Network," he said. "Agents Marino and Kwan with me. We need a word about Aegis Flow." Silence vacuumed the room. Mom clutched her pearls. Sloan sat straighter, then very still. "We can talk here," I said. Marino checked a tablet. "We've logged repeated attempts to access your federal integration portal. Origin, an IP assigned to this building." Dad's voice went dry. "Federal portal?" I met his eyes. "Aegis Flow doesn't live on the strip mall side of the internet." Kwan spoke to my family. "Miss Park's company hardens and routes a significant share of real-time interbank payments. Roughly 40% by throughput. Yesterday alone exceeded $400 billion. The numbers fell like glass. Sloan whispered, "Absurd." "It's classified until it isn't," I said. "The public clients are a decoy," Marino continued. "The attacker used admin patterns only an insider would know. We're here because building logs point to Park Holdings' subnet." My laptop was open. I mirrored the trail. Timestamps. MAC addresses. The path of a hand that thought it wore gloves. "Here," I said. "And here." Eyes drifted to Sloan. She forced a smile. "Due diligence. I hired a consultant to examine Lila's systems." "I didn't know." "David Brennan?" I asked. "Data Ghost?" Her face drained. Kwan didn't blink. "He's a cooperating source. The moment you approached him, he called us." Cuffs appeared. Mascara blurred as Marino read the charges. Dad reached, then stopped. I closed the buyout folder. "Now can we talk about what you almost bought?" Marino guided Sloan out. The room expanded, then collapsed around my parents and the folder. Dad sat. $400 billion, he said, as if saying it might shrink it. "Throughput, not balance," I said. "And before you ask, last year's revenue cleared $1 billion. The valuation lives in work that can't be printed." Mom's voice thinned. "Why didn't you tell us?" "You never asked," I said. "You preferred the version where I failed." I set the folder between us. "We need to be exact. Treasury will take statements. As a cleared contractor, I must show 0 tolerance. That means severing ties with any party linked to the breach and filing civil action against Park Holdings." Dad flinched. "You'll sue the company?" "I'll protect my contracts," I said. "Your counsel will call it procedure. They'll be right." He rubbed his eyes. Can you forgive us? Maybe later, I said. After discovery, after you grasp what almost happened. My phone buzzed. Marino confirming chain of custody, my ops lead confirming a DHS meeting, a press bulletin already live. Story would firmly hold. Intrusion attempted, neutralized, systems resilient, continuity ensured. I stood. I have to brief people who read risk and basis points. Mom reached for me and stopped. Lila, we were wrong. Yes, I said, but I need to work. In the lobby's glass, I saw what they'd missed. The woman they tried to buy for $200,000. Outside, my security opened the car. I slid in, checked agenda, and let the city flow past, busy, solvent. Tomorrow I'd testify, negotiate, sign. Tonight I'd sleep. I chose the quiet road. It wasn't failure, it was infrastructure.